The main event of night one that honestly I would do to sort of, they have no problem coming out and saying that, matches that main event night one are main event matches of the show. They've used that for WrestleMania when talking about Sami Zayn, when talking about the Usos, when talking about Kevin Owens. I really believe that you got a main event night two. And I think that's what the storyline is going to be for CM Punk going into WrestleMania. He had his WrestleMania moment where he got the headline night one. Now I think it's going to be like he wants to go all in. I wouldn't be surprised that Punk wins the Rumble in 2026. We've already seen him go over the hump going to Saudi Arabia on the Night of Champions. So it's not going to be a problem with him going to Night of Champions for the Royal Rumble. I still think that's really, really weird. But it shows you in this world today, if you got enough money, you can buy anything. But WWE giving away one of the at least one of the big four. But, what is it? Like they were in 11, 12, of these big shows a year, giving one of those away to go over there when they're already going over there. I don't know if that's going to count of one of the two shows they have to do throughout the year. It'd be a surprise if they go over there 3 times, but these guys give them so much money and they might have to make up the 2020. I don't remember if they went over there in 2021 year. Maybe that's what they're trying to do is make up years on the contract when, COVID was going on or something like that. But I put Punk versus Gunther in that main event spot of night one. Him, being in the main event spot, going after the World Heavyweight Championship. I had a question with it because at the end of Raw, Michael Cole, as soon as the match was done, said CM Punk, one of his main goals since coming back to WWE was winning a World Heavyweight Championship to, sort of put a trophy on his career. The ending part is not 100% what he said. I can't remember it 100%, but he definitely wanted to win one of the major championships in WWE. I guess it doesn't matter if it's a World Heavyweight Championship. It doesn't matter if it's WWE Championship. But then rewind a year and talk about, no, I scratch that. Rewind a month and think about Night of Champions and the build to there. When Cena and Punk were in the ring, Cena was talking, Punk was talking to Cena, and he said that he knows the emotions that come to him. Holding the WWE Championship, it changes you into a different person. It happened to him in 2011 to 2012, where he basically started his reign as a babyface and it ended up turning heel. And it was just that power and that greed and everything that comes with it. And that's why he doesn't want to be WWE champion, but he will fight Cena for that championship if it means that Cena is not going to be champion anymore. So he basically came out and he said that he didn't want to be champion, but Cole's saying he does. So does he or doesn't want any to be the champion? I think that's going to be it. But I don't think there's any doubt in my mind other than, a CM Punk going to Triple H and basically saying like, hey, I love being here. I love being on the roster. I love helping out all these guys. It's fun going out there and wrestling. Unless he comes to him and says, I don't want to be champion. I just don't want that kind of responsibility. I don't want to be carrying the ball. There's too many, stars in that locker room that could use it, that need it. I think Punk's winning this match. I mean, if I opened up like a wrestling casino where you could come in like a sports book and bet on wrestling, Punk would be my heavy favorite in this. Now, the storyline is really going to be that CM Punk is the aging superstar. He's been in the game, and Gunther's just going to beat him down. He's going to lean on him, put the choke on him and this, that, and the other. And how is Punk going to overcome that? The biggest bully that there is on the yard. But I'm not sure how he does that as of right now. But I got Punk winning that match. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. Today's Friday. I'm home from work. I just got back from Costco. I think everybody has pretty much seen the reports out there on Seth Rollins. Dave Meltzer came out and basically gave an update on what he said after Saturday night's main event. I think everybody's kind of coming out and saying that Seth Rollins' injury is a storyline. It's to make you think that he basically went away and then he's going to surprisingly pop up on CM Punk, possibly at SummerSlam 2025, if he wins the championship from Gunther. And he's going to steal the show, and it's going to be one of the best cash-ins of all time, because you're going to go back and look at that LA Knight match on Saturday night's main event and realize that he had himself go down with an injury. He gave himself an L in the record book to give him like one of the biggest wins possibly of his career. I talked about this. I think I wouldn't have been able to talk about it on my Saturday night's main event review, but I think I talked about it on my Monday Night Raw review, how I was listening to the Review Away podcast from Post Wrestling, and John Pollock, out of the middle of nowhere, just kind of said that he knew the finish of the Seth Rollins match 2 days before it aired on Saturday night's main event. And that was a live event. Kind of says that if Rollins was going to go down with an injury, it was a planned injury and it was going to be a storyline. Everything happened exactly the way that his source told them it was going to happen. I thought it was weird that, John Pollock, who I think he's an awesome podcaster. I've listened to him, honestly, for a really long time. In this last year, leading up to WrestleMania, I've really gotten into his shows more than I have in the last few years. But I make sure I go out of my way for the Monday Night Raw reviews and the pay-per-view reviews. I'm always listening to him and Wei Ting, and he's not really a guy that comes out and, breaks news stories. He'll kind of talk about news stories, but he's not the guy like leading the charge. So I thought it was funny that he was the only person kind of reporting that the Rollins thing, sounded funny. I texted my buddy Mike. Today I apologized to Mike that I kind of sent him like a huge spoiler. I know that CM Punk is one of the guys that really keeps him involved in wrestling as of right now, and Seth Rollins is one of his favorites, and to kill like such a big moment for him, I honestly think that sucks, With that, out of the fog, I think that the CM Punk versus Gunther match at SummerSlam, honestly, seems like it could be really, really good. You can see how, Seth Rollins stirred the pot a little bit a few weeks ago when he showed up on Monday Night Raw and he came down to Gunther and basically put him on watch, that he's not just looking at John Cena and Cody Rhodes. He could come down and cash in on Gunther at any time. He didn't feel like Gunther was paying attention to him. And at that time, I was kind of wondering, where is CM Punk? Seth Rollins showed up. He stopped CM Punk from beating Cody Rhodes John Cena at Night of Champions. You think that this guy'd come running down and start bashing his face in. Punk had said on the lead up that he really didn't want to be champion because he knows how being champion changed his mindset in the past, and it kind of warps your brain and it kind of turns you into a different person. So I know he's upset that he didn't win it, but maybe he was at a point in his career where he's all right of it. But the second I kind of passed that through my mind, Punk came running down, attacking Rollins, and I thought it was hilarious that Gunther just kind of backed into the corner. He almost pretty much put his hands up, and he was like, "This ain't my fight." I'll let these guys fight all day long. I'm not involved in this. Gunther is a pretty smart dude. If you think how he kind of like disappeared after WrestleMania 41 when he lost to Jey Uso. He didn't really start any beef. He didn't get any matches. So that way, once he got his rematch, he'd be good to go and he'd be like fresh as a daisy. Unlike Jey, who he was warning, kept running out basically in every match on Monday Night Raw, getting involved with every storyline, fighting fights that weren't his fight. He just basically just kind of put his hands up and said it is what it is. And when Rollins was able to run away, Punk ran over to Gunther in the corner and just basically was like, hey, you stay out of your business and I'll stay out of mine. And who knows the foreshadowing. 2 weeks later, Punk and Gunther are going to be going at it for the championship after Punk won the gauntlet match on Monday Night Raw. So I am pumped for this one. If WWE doesn't get scared with the amount of people tweeting about it as of right now, I feel bad to my buddy Mike that I just straight up tweeted it to him, like saying it in the videos. Like if you're listening to Stevie Breach in 2025, this is not 2010, 2011. You're pretty much in the know. You're on Reddit, you're on Twitter, you're listening to Meltzer, you're listening to just about everybody out there who has a podcast because you love the world and you love the stories of professional wrestling. But we got till that. I'm guessing that Punk and Gunther is going to be the main event of night 1 on August 2nd. So we got 2 weeks until we get there. It's enough time for WWE to kind of like change on the fly. We're going to see the way they do it. WWE Unreal is going to be coming up, honestly, sooner than later. I'm really looking forward to that night when those honestly kind of debut. I'm kind of waiting to get home from work on Tuesday, and I'm hoping that that's going to be like, I don't know if it's a documentary. It kind of makes it seem like it's going to be like shows in an episode. You can really see they filmed stuff at the Royal Rumble. They filmed stuff at Elimination Chamber. They definitely filmed stuff at WrestleMania. So I don't know if they're showing that like 3-month window of January until like March, April this year, and maybe it'll end at WrestleMania. I'm not really sure what we're looking forward to, but the trailer that they dropped the other day made it seem even crazier than it is now. And we've seen, Triple H talking to The Rock about what was going to happen, when he slit his throat in an Elimination Chamber. So at least we know that The Rock is not off limits for this deal. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. And I just remembered that I got to start playing NCAA football today. So I'm going to eat my lunch. I'm going to eat my pizza, upload the video, play game 2 in the year of Stevie Breach coaching Tennessee. See if we can bring the Natty back home. I'll tell you the truth. I play on freshman mode. Last year it took me a couple of seasons before I bumped it up, but it does seem that this year's game is a lot harder than last year's game right out of the box. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today as I'm driving home on my way home from work. We had a pretty good day. It was pretty long. It was pretty tedious. We had like an inspector person in there, so we were kind of making sure we didn't make any mistakes, and sometimes that day just drags on and on and on. You're not really doing a whole bunch, but you just have things running through your mind. And to tell you the truth, I was thinking about SummerSlam, and I was thinking about how big a show this is going to be. And I'm really starting to like try to put the pieces together. John Pollock is the guy in my world that basically did all the dirty work, and I think he's the guy that kind of busted open the Seth Rollins storyline, with that he really isn't injured, and it's a storyline about him cashing in the Money in the Bank. And I kind of just put all of my eggs into that basket, basically saying that I think that the Seth Rollins storyline is going to be connected to the Gunther versus CM Punk deal, and I was thinking that it was all going to be about Seth Rollins spoiling CM Punk's party. And in my mind, like, if I had to put money on this, tonight I'm going to be going live on the Rock and Knowles channel with Jeremy. I think we're going live at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about SummerSlam, but I think we're going to try to do our first like themed show, and we're going to be talking about like the best matches that we've ever seen live. But that's going to be fun. Make sure you stop on by or check out his channel and watch the replay whenever you get a chance to see this. But if I had to make my prediction video, I'm pretty sure I would be predicting that CM Punk is going to get the 3 count, is going to come out as WWE champion, and then I think immediately Seth Rollins would cash in on CM Punk. And now I'm really thinking about what happened on Monday Night Raw, and you know, basically we had Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman all out in the ring. And then basically, you know, Braun Breaker was talking, and Roman Reigns interrupted and made his way down to the ring. As soon as he got his introduction in, Paul Heyman started talking, and Paul just basically threw out the information that Seth Rollins is injured, and Seth Rollins is going to be out for a very, very long time. And basically asked if he wanted to reunite the band. He was saying that they had leadership opportunities where if Roman would come over and be with Paul Heyman yet once again, he would have the muscle of Bronson Reed and the muscle of Braun Breaker. I thought it was funny that in storyline, you know, we've got the bloodline kind of scattered everywhere. We've got Solo Sikoa going up against Jacob Fatu. We've got, you know, the Usos who have, you know, turned babyface. Jay's one of the biggest stars in WWE as of right now. You know, we've got guys on both sides of the spectrum. And, you know, Roman Reigns put it out into the universe that he was thanking Jey Uso. And then he thanked Solo Sikoa. And I was kind of like, oh, didn't see that one coming. They're still family. They're, as Roman put it, they're still, you know, God's, was it God's family? He said God's something. And it was kind of like, oh. And maybe in my mind, they were setting the table for down the road, the bloodline to finally come together. And I don't care who they go up against. That would be one of the most dominant factions of all time. Even if they only did it for, you know, a SummerSlam or just a one-time deal. I mean, you put Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, you put Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. You know, you can put the other guys in there with them. They haven't really done a whole bunch in WWE. But, I mean, you put that together. I mean, that's stronger than the NWO Elite, or, you know, that NWO group that, you know, got back together after the finger poke of doom. I don't know who's bigger, better, stronger than that group right there. I mean, you've got just about every singles title covered in WWE with people in that group. But you know, Roman turned him down. Said that that's not where he wanted to go. He felt that Paul Heyman was a snake, and he's going to steal credit for everything that you do. But, you know, Paul, you know, he offered up the Seth Rollins is injured all on his own. So I think that honestly kind of puts Roman Reigns into this what's the word of the quadundrum? Like that this storyline is running just as thick as it was at WrestleMania 41. It's almost like no time has passed since Paul turned on Roman, turned on CM Punk, made sure that both of them got left laying on the Raw after WrestleMania. Time has passed. CM Punk's been fighting a lot of people, but we're almost getting right back to where we were before Roman took his good little vacation and disappeared after WrestleMania. We don't even know what he was doing. He didn't say that he needed time to get over Paul Heyman leaving him in the dirt and turning his back on him, that he had trust issues. He didn't say that he had an injury, from anything. It just, he was gone, and now he's back. It almost really didn't quite make any sense. So if I run with my original storyline, where CM Punk beats Gunther, becomes World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins comes out to cash in, what if after he cashes in the briefcase, before there is a 3 count, what if Roman comes down to disrupt Rollins? And even though Rollins' plan was to screw CM Punk, now we're set for the Clash in Paris for, Roman versus Seth, which is kind of weird to me, because when you go to WWE.com and you look at the picture that they use for Roman Reigns' return to WWE, they don't use a picture from him actually returning on Raw. They pick a picture of Roman getting into the ring and Seth Rollins, not like really in the background, but not in the forefront, is in the ring waiting for him to get in the ring. It looks like they're about to have a promo against each other. So why are they using this old picture? Is it they're subliminally trying, whatever. Are they trying to get in our head and make us think of Rollins versus Roman when they really have this in front of us? Seth Rollins, I said it the other day in a video, and I think it's the best way to say it, and I apologize if it's insensitive and it hurts somebody's feelings, but his resurrection on SummerSlam, when he comes back and tries to screw everybody out of the title, I think is going to be great. I think it's going to be awesome if he wins the title, if he doesn't win the title, and his plan is sort of, blown up in his face. I could go either way. So, I think this SummerSlam is going to be awesome, guys. I really, really do. And I think this thing's just rolling out even more. I don't even know what to entitle this video. Maybe it's just Roman Reigns stops Seth Rollins from cashing in at SummerSlam 2025. So we're going to have a good match. It's probably going to be Roman and Jay. And they're going to be in a tag match against Bronson and Braun. I thought that it was going to be... I thought that Gunther and Punk would be the main event of night 1. But why would Roman be at SummerSlam if his match is on night 2? And would they bring Roman back if he's not the main event and he just comes back later in the night? That's the part that doesn't get me. So I'm not 100% there, but I'm pretty damn close to 100%.